Before I begin, make sure to check out my book parody trailer, link in the description below. So this is one of my other requested book, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Old School. I'm just going to do the sneak peek. So let's go. By Jeff Kinney. September, Saturday. Grown-ups are always talking about the good old days and how things were so much better when they were kids. But I think they're just jealous because my generation has all the fancy technology and stuff they didn't have growing up. Believe me, I'm sure when I have kids of my own, I'm going to be the same exact way my parents are now. When I was your age, we used our legs for getting around. Yeah, whatever, Pops. We're. Mom's always saying that when she was younger, it was great because everyone in the town knew everybody else, and it was like one giant family. But that doesn't sound so great to me. I like my privacy, and I don't really need everyone knowing my personal business. Howdy, neighbor. Mom says the problem with society these days is that everybody's got their nose in a screen and nobody takes the time to get to know the people who live around them. I don't really see the eye to eye with Mom on that issue, though. Personally, I think a little separation is a good thing. Your leaves are in my yard. Tappity tap tap. Lol. Tap tap tap. Lately, mobs are going around town with a petition to get people to stop using their phones and electronic gadgets for 48 hours. Let's unplug to reconnect. Electronics are cluttering our lives. Let's put down our devices for a weekend and get to know one another. Who's in? Mom needs 100 signatures before she can take the petition to town hall, but she's having trouble to be able to get their names on it. I'm just hoping she gives up on the idea soon because it's kind of exhausting for the rest of us to pretend we don't know her. Tap, tap, tap. I don't really understand why Mom thinks we need to go backward anyway. From what I can tell, the old days weren't that much fun. If you think about it, you never see anyone in the black and white photos smiling. Say cheese, squeak, squeak. In the tough days, people were a whole lot tougher than they are today. But human beings have evolved, and now we need things like electronic toothbrushes and shopping malls and soft-serve ice cream to survive. Bleep, bloop, blurp. I bet our ancestors would be pretty disappointed with the way we turned out, but once somebody invented air conditioning, there was really no turning back. We've gotten so spoiled that pretty soon we won't even have to leave our houses if we don't want to. Your burger is served. I said no mayonnaise. In fact, the way we're headed, I bet 1,000 years from now, human beings will even have spines. Slitter. Some people complain that all this technology has made us soft, but if you ask me, that's not necessarily a bad thing. There are all sorts of luxuries nowadays that people's lives are better. Take baby wipes, for example. People were using red toilet paper for hundreds of years, and then all of a sudden some genius came up with an idea that was a total game changer. Freshies. What really amazes me is that it took so long for people to come up with that idea. I seriously couldn't believe the guy who invented the light bulb didn't see baby wipes coming. And who knows what crazy thing someone's going to come up with next to make our lives easier. Whatever it is, though, I'll be the first one in line to buy it. But if Mom had her way, we'd be living like people did before there were computers and cell phones and baby wipes. And I really don't want to imagine living in a world without baby wipes. Sunday. Dad says when he was growing up, in the summertime kids played outside all day until they got called home for dinner at night. Ding ding ding, squeal, squirt squirt squirt. Well, that pretty much the opposite of the way my summer went this year. I spent July and August at film camp where all I did was watch movies in an air-conditioned theater for 8 hours a day. The main reason I signed up for film camp was because I thought it was for people who are serious about movies, like me. But I found out it was really just a place for parents to dump their kids off for some cheap babysitting. Shh, zzz, nom nom. The downside of spending that much time in the dark theater is that at the end of the day it took a half hour for my life to adjust to the sunlight. Blink, blink. The other reason I signed up for film camp was to get out of the house. Ever since we got a pet pig, it hasn't been a whole lot of fun being home. Especially not at dinner. Gobble, smack, slurp, chomp. For the record, I think it's a terrible idea letting the pig eat at the table because it already thinks it's a human being. And the last thing we need is for it to think it's on equal footing with the rest of us. Right after we got the pig, Mom thought it would be fun to teach it some tricks, so she would give a pig a cookie when it stood on its hind legs. Yay! But the pig learned to walk like that and hasn't been on all fours ever since. To make matters worse, my little brother Manny put a pair of shorts on the pig, so now it's like we're living in a house with a Disney character. Wobble, wobble. Mom used to take the pig outside, but after it started walking upright, it decided it was too good for its leash. Wave. Mom was worried that if the pig ran off, we'd never find it, so she got a collar with one of those GPS shotting chips on it. But every time Mom put the collar on a pig, within 5 minutes, it would be back off. And don't ask me how the pig did that, since the pigs don't even have thumbs. Toss. So now the pig just comes and goes as it pleases, and who knows where it spends its time. What really stinks is that I have a curfew and the pig doesn't. Tick, tick, tick. I think giving pig too many privileges is a really bad idea. One day pigs will rule the world, and it will be my family's fault for starting it all. I wouldn't really have an issue with the pig if it didn't interfere with my life. But I was late on the first day of school because it was hogging on the bathroom. Come on, pound, pound, pound. With the pig in the house, I was actually looking forward to school starting. But once I got there, I realized it was just the same old thing. And to be honest with you, I feel like I've been in middle school forever. Whoosh, clop, shake, 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 twang, plop, swipe. I needed to mix things up a little or I was going to go crazy. So in the first week of school, I volunteered for Homework Buddies program. Be a buddy. Team up with an elementary school kid to lend a hand. Sign up for Homework Buddies today. But the reason I signed up was so I could skip third period, which is music class with Mrs. Graziano. To give you an idea of how long Mrs. Graziano had been my music teacher, Dad had her when he was my age. And apparently spending 30 years teaching middle schoolers how to play musical instruments does something to a person. Flarp, tweet, tweet, twarp, droop, flarp. No. Last week I met my homework buddy, this kid named Fru. I have no idea why he even signed up for the program though, because he's one of those people who reads scientific journals and college textbooks for fun. Fru. The first time we got together, Fru showed me his homework, which was some coloring and a word find. Fru said he didn't need any help, and then he asked me to see my homework. I had at least half an hour on math problems and a geography assignment that would have taken me another 2 hours, but Fru whipped through all of it in about 15 minutes. Scribble, scribble, scribble. And he wasn't just fast, he was good. I turned in the assignments the next day, and when I got them back from my teachers, I had perfect scores. At first, I felt a little bad about getting help from a third grader, but then I realized that homework buddies are supposed to help each other out. So now whenever me and Fru get together, I just hand him a pile of assignments and let him do his thing. The way I see it, this is working out for everyone. Scribble, scribble, scribble. The only compliment is that Fru is that sometimes he's too helpful. He's been getting bored with my homework, so he's trying to make up assignments to challenge himself. The other day, he wrote a paper and attached it to my regular homework for extra credit, but luckily I checked it over before handing it in. Detecting Commutative Permeability in Physics by Fru, Greg Heffley. For a while, I was just glad to be getting some homework help. But recently, I've been thinking about, since I'm the one who discovered Fru, I deserve some kind of credit if he goes on to do big things. Nobel Prize. Wednesday. As if our house wasn't crowded enough, now Grandpa is living with us. They raised the rent at Leisure Towers, and he couldn't afford to live there anymore. So Mom invited Grandpa to move into our family. Dad wasn't so hot on that idea, even though Grandpa is his own father. But Mom said it'll be just like the old days when 3 generations live under the same roof. I think Mom has this rosy image of the way things used to be, but I have a totally different picture of what it must have been like back then. Scrub, 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 scrub. I was actually okay with Grandpa moving in with us until I realized what it meant for me. Mom let Grandpa pick any bedroom he wanted, and of course he chose mine. That meant I needed to find a new place to sleep. I first thought it was just to go to the guest room, but I forgot that's where the pig stays. And there's no way I'm sharing a pull-out couch with a barn animal. I wrote out Roger's room right away because he might actually be a step down from the pig. My only other choice was the room with Manny, so I got out an airbag and set it up on his floor. But sleeping in Manny's room has its own problems. Mom reads Manny a bedtime story every night, and sometimes they're really long. In fact, lately, I think Manny's been picking out the thickest books so he can just get on my nerves. In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit. Things have been a little intense ever since Grandpa moved in. You can tell he doesn't really approve of the way Mom and Dad are raising us kids, even though he never actually comes out and says it. Mom's been trying to potty train Manny forever, and she's experimenting with something called no pants after dinner. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Skip. What's supposed to happen is that when Manny feels the urge to go, he'll run to the bathroom. But Manny just prances around all night with nothing on below his waist, and eventually he ducks behind the recliner in the family room. Push! I don't think Dad's a huge fan of no pants after dinner, and I can tell he's more uncomfortable with Grandpa being here to witness it. It's pretty obvious having Grandpa around is really stressing Dad out, and every time one of us kids screws up, it just makes Dad even more tense. Oops, spill. What seems to annoy Dad the most is when one of us kids asks Mom to do something that we should be able to do ourselves. Yesterday I asked Mom to open a microwave burrito for me because I always have trouble with those plastic packages. But Dad jumped all over my case. He said that if I was stranded on a desert island with 1,000 microwave burritos, I'd starve to death because I couldn't figure how to open them on my own. Fumble, fumble. Alright, so we're going to finish the sneak peek right there. Make sure to check out my trailer for the new parody book, and I'll see you next time.